I'm Adam Anshell for Pro Football Weekly, joined by senior editor Eric Edholm, looking at one of the top performers of the scouting combine, Alabama wide receiver Julio Jones. And Eric, he really put on a show during his time at the combine, ran a 4.39 40, which is impressive for anyone, but a big, strong receiver like him, even more so. And now we've learned he did it on a broken foot. What will that do for his draft stock?
You know, I don't think he's going to have a big effect. You know, we talked to PFW draft analyst Nolan Naraki, and the answer probably is no. There's some recent history to back this up. 2 years ago, Michael Crabtree had a similar stress fracture and still went in the top 10. And then last year, you had Demaryius Thomas, who went to the Broncos at 22nd. That was a far more serious injury. So I think Jones has maintained that position at the top of the draft.
Always a concern when you're getting a guy with injuries, but he is really good. Now, another thing with Jones is that it's not his first injury. We've seen this happen over and over again in college, different injuries along the way, nothing continuing. But is this a long-term concern?
I think there are some long-term concerns about the way he plays. He's such a physical wide receiver. He had the hand injury last year that affected his season. He hid it from the coaches, ultra competitive. I think he's the kind of guy that will play through that pain, but you may be talking about a wide receiver who has a lot of injuries that kind of add up over time.
I mean, you kind of see that over the years with some other guys. Anquan Bolden comes to mind. Big, strong guy, hurt often, but still so effective. It really makes it worth its while. Now, looking at where he'll go in the draft, Nolan had him as the number 14 pick, going to the receiver-needy Rams. I'm sure they'd still love to have him there, but with his numbers that he was putting up, we could see him rising into the top 10. Will that still stand?
I think so. Now, I think A.J. Green remains the top wide receiver in this class. I think, despite the time differences, I still think Green is the more polished talent. Now Jones probably solidified a top 10 spot. I think the highest you probably would see him go is somewhere in this number 6 range to Cleveland Browns. And the absolute farthest he'd fall was that number 14 spot we mentioned with the Rams. But I think with this workout, considering he did it on the foot, very impressive. I expect him to go somewhere in the top 10.
I think it does say something, too. The fact that he went through this workout on that broken foot and still put up those numbers, it shows not only his skill, but his toughness. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. We appreciate it, Eric. We'll keep an eye on the draft, and for all the best information leading up to April's draft, be sure to follow us on Twitter or go to ProFootballWeekly.com.